My wife, Adelina, embodies the essence of an extraordinary woman. Her remarkable ability to transform the simplest elements into something spectacular never ceases to amaze me. Whether crafting a mouth-watering salad, spinning an intriguing tale, or designing a chic hat, her creativity and finesse always leave an impression. I often muse that even a legend like Coco Chanel would have been captivated by Adelina's talent had she been alive to witness it. Her blend of intelligence and beauty allows her to shine effortlessly in any social environment, drawing admiration from men, friends, colleagues, and acquaintances alike. She possesses an innate charisma, balancing flirtation with playful openness and navigating social interactions with elegance and grace. Her sharp mind, paired with her refined demeanor, ensures that she reaches her objectives consistently. While some might envy my position, I take immense pride in being the husband of such an exceptional woman. Adelina's name itself symbolizes her uniqueness and brilliance. When we first met, she was a specialist at an insurance firm, and over the course of 6 years, her outstanding work ethic propelled her to the position of head of the regional sales department. She excelled in her role, showcasing both leadership and a keen understanding of her profession. I affectionately nicknamed her Business because of her remarkable ability to balance her personal and professional life seamlessly. Our home is always impeccably organized, our relationship harmonious, and her career continues to thrive. So, when her company announced a quarterly reporting meeting and corporate party, Adelina felt an inherent responsibility to attend, despite preferring to spend the evening at home. As the head of the sales network, her presence was integral to the event. She was given a prominent role in the official program, tasked with addressing significant matters in a more informal setting. The meeting, which involved the company's entire hierarchy, from the owner to the CEO and staff agents, was planned meticulously. The venue, a luxurious hotel and restaurant complex on the city's outskirts, catered perfectly to the occasion. It featured conference rooms, a restaurant for the banquet, and comfortable hotel accommodations for business travelers. The company, known for its grandeur, spared no expense in honoring its successful sales team. On the appointed day, Adelina requested my assistance in driving her to the venue. As always, she radiated elegance, her ash-colored hair styled in a luxurious updo that accentuated her striking features. She wore a sleek black dress that highlighted her figure with a mix of sensuality and sophistication, complemented by delicate stockings adorned with lace, fashionable stiletto heels, subtle makeup, and her signature fragrance. When we arrived, the venue was adorned with corporate-themed balloon compositions and banners, with brochures showering us as we entered. Soft background music filled the courtyard, and attentive waiters discreetly offered appetizers. Adelina gave me a customary peck on the nose before reassuring me that she would arrange her own transportation later in the evening. Midnight came and went, yet Adelina hadn't returned. The notifications on her phone hinted that the festivities were in full swing, leaving me to wonder about her absence. Though concern gnawed at me, I rationalized that she was likely tired and would prefer to rest once home. With this thought, I fell asleep, unaware of the storm brewing. At nearly 4 a.m., I woke to find Adelina tugging at the bedcovers. The gray hues of dawn filtered through the room as my half-asleep mind registered the disheveled state of my wife. Her purse, phone, and stiletto shoes were strewn haphazardly on the floor. One stocking had slipped to her knee, while the other was clutched tightly in her hand. Her hair, once immaculate, was now a tangled mess, and to my shock, she wore no undergarments beneath her dress, which now revealed a scandalous angle. The sight was bewildering, defying not just corporate ethics and marital trust, but also the basic principles of decorum. My first instinct was to shake her awake and demand an explanation, much like a frustrated character from a comedic film. However, I quickly realized that confronting her in her current state would be futile. Instead, like a determined investigator, I sought to piece together the events that had transpired. Within our apartment, no clues hinted at an explanation except for a diploma she had received that evening, celebrating her impeccable work. It offered no solace, leaving my mind racing with increasingly troubling scenarios. Chain-smoking cigarettes and downing cups of coffee, I wrestled with the unsettling realization that my once-admired wife might have been unfaithful. When Adelina finally stirred, I confronted her directly, demanding answers. Her response was incoherent. She claimed to have a headache and professed no memory of the evening's events. Her apparent amnesia provided little comfort, and her distress only deepened as she attempted to recall fragments of the night. She remembered parts of the official meeting, the awards ceremony, and the banquet's grand opening. She even recalled participating in a dance competition where she won a lollipop, an inexplicable detail, given its later discovery in her clothing. However, the circumstances leading to her disheveled state and missing undergarments remained a mystery. Frustrated and mistrustful for the first time in our marriage, I demanded that Adelina call a friend or colleague who had attended the event to shed light on what had occurred. Embarrassed but left with no choice, she dialed a number, placing the call on speakerphone. Adelina, my wife, has always been a person of conviction, though at times her methods have been rather unconventional. What unfolded recently at her company's annual event was a testament to her unique approach to fighting for causes she holds dear. The evening began formally, with Adelina attending as the head of sales for her organization. According to her colleague AA, she seemed tense during the initial part of the event. She was worried about her team's presentations, which had significant implications for her department. Despite the stress, she was genuinely touched when she received an award for her work, a moment of validation that seemed to ease her mood slightly. Yet, her nerves persisted. She barely ate at the event and sipped sparingly on champagne during the formal proceedings. As the night transitioned from official speeches and ceremonies to a more casual celebration, Adelina's demeanor changed. She discovered a particular cocktail called Sambuck, served by the bartender. She developed a liking for the drink and found herself spending much of the evening at the bar counter, indulging in several servings. Loosening up, she began sharing her frustrations about life's challenges and injustices with colleagues. One topic of conversation particularly animated her: a stray dog she had encountered in the office parking lot. She had affectionately named the dog Boss and had been feeding him regularly. However, the company's management, citing budget constraints, had decided to relocate the dog and suggested finding a shelter out of public sight. This decision had deeply upset Adelina, as she was passionate about providing proper care for the stray. As the event's entertainment programs wrapped up, the guests were still in high spirits, craving more excitement. In a spontaneous move, Adelina proposed an unconventional auction to raise funds for the dog shelter. She decided to auction off items from her personal wardrobe to drum up support for the cause. Her enthusiasm was infectious, and the crowd quickly became captivated by her spirited endeavor. To kick things off, Adelina performed a lively dance and dramatically removed a delicate lace accessory, tossing it into the crowd. The room erupted into a flurry of shouts and bids, with guests eagerly participating in the auction. By the end of the night, the item was retrieved, along with a substantial amount of money raised for her cause. Adelina's passion and flair had undeniably turned heads. When we got home later, Adelina seemed mortified as the reality of her actions sank in. "I can't believe I said all those things and did that in front of everyone, my colleagues, subordinates, even senior management," she exclaimed, burying her head in her hands. On one hand, I found her actions amusing and commendable, appreciating the noble intent behind her boldness. But on the other, I understood her embarrassment. She began to fret aloud about how she would face her co-workers on Monday. How will they perceive me now? Should I just hand in my resignation? She pondered nervously. Her musings were interrupted by the ringing of her phone. The name of her general manager flashed on the screen. Hesitant but curious, she answered. "Adelina," the manager began, "did you forget something yesterday?" Confused, she asked what he meant. "Well," he continued, "there's been an offer to purchase the item you auctioned off, your lace accessory. The amount offered is higher than what your colleagues initially bid. In fact, it's enough not only for the dog shelter, but also for veterinary visits, food supplies for 6 months, and even a dog passport. Adelina was stunned into silence. Sensing her hesitation, the manager added, "However, there's one condition. Please don't name the dog boss. You can collect the funds from the secretary and store them in your safe for now." When the call ended, the room was filled with silence. Finally, I broke it with a light-hearted remark. "Well, the goal was achieved, wasn't it? And as they say, all's fair in a fight for a just cause." Adelina smiled wryly. "I suppose you're right," she replied. Though still embarrassed by her audacious actions, she seemed comforted by the outcome. Reflecting on the event, I was proud of her. While her methods were unorthodox, her intentions were pure, and she had succeeded in rallying others to support a cause close to her heart. This retelling emphasizes the humor, drama, and heartfelt mission that drove Adelina's actions, capturing the spirit of her memorable evening.